think the uniqueness of my story for you is I'm not the type of star that, I know the people you hang around with. I know the circle you're able to run with. But
guys like you.
No, guys that are used to being in front of the camera.
Yeah,
guys that have,
flashy,
I would say,
flashy.
I would say,
I know what you mean.
This is entertainment. You're in the entertainment field. I'm not in entertainment. But because of that, I think my story resonates a little more.
Yeah.
And so, happy to share it. Grew up in the Houston area. Youngest of 3 siblings. But by high school, like a lot of people, broken family. Mom went one direction, dad went another direction. Lived apart. So high school years were, I don't want to say rough, but I went to 3 different high schools, jumped around to 2 or 3 cities, and at 16 years old moved myself out. As a junior, I had moved out on my own, an hour and a half away from both parents, just because an environment that I would say at best was unhealthy.
Yeah. At what age was that?
At worst, probably dangerous. 16 years old.
16 years, so, you got out on your own.
So I moved in with my brother, who was at a junior college, an hour to 2 hours away from both parents in different directions. This is still the early 90s, mid 90s, so full credit to my mom. I don't think she understood the severity of the situation or the full story.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know at that point that it was, it was up to me, if you will.
Yeah.
And I think early on, it's funny, you look backwards and you talk to people about success principles or what it takes to make it or survive, or what are those points. I just know that innately early on, nothing that ever happened to me was about me. And so I knew that. I never personalized my situation.
Yeah.
Never personalized.
Like holding a grudge, you mean?
So the things maybe my father didn't do for me. So the house I moved out, my father has since passed away. But it was a rough environment, a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol. Really wasn't supportive. I was an athlete as well, and in small town Texas, football, basketball.
No, I've seen you on the Wii Nintendo. We had some battles. I'm so bitter at this guy right now. But we'll talk about that later.
So he wasn't necessarily around, but I remember early on, it didn't bother me.
Yeah.
I probably had a healthy sense of ego or self early on, and just had made a decision that, listen, life, if I'm going to make something of it, it's up to me. And so, personal responsibility kind of happened early on for me, and this positive momentum, a sense of self. So
you think that was around like? I mean, it's tough to know, but 16 is when that clicked in. It's like, it was 16, I'm steering the ship, and
it was 16 that I made a decision.
Okay.
I'd moved back home for a bit. My senior year for half a semester, then was off on my own in college. And was in junior college, and you have to understand that I think the genius that I have, or if there's a moral to my story or a narrative, is that I'm average, right? I mean, average looking guy. I had below average grades. I was an average athlete, so there was no academic scholarships, there was no athletic scholarships. There was no financial aid.
Yeah.
My parents had made just enough, though, where I didn't qualify for financial aid. So
could you be a little more poor, parents?
Where a lot of people fell.
Yeah.
And is proud of where I am today. In many ways, I'm actually more proud of that guy, right? So if I saw that guy, I'm more in awe of the 18-year-old Todd in many ways than I am the 41-year-old Todd.
Yeah.
Started at junior college. The story is I'm a kid who's in JUCO, who's working full-time, was a janitor at a hospital, and had a pair of Nikes. I had one pair of shoes. They had the air pockets, if you remember the
Yeah.
You could see the air pockets.
Yeah.
And it had busted. The sole had wore out, and the air pocket, one of them had busted. So when it would rain, the air would release almost like a dog whistle or a dog whistle. And I remember duct taping the shoes together.
Yeah.
And just kept it moving. I mean, the best way to say it is just kept grinding.
Yeah.
So finished JUCO, went to a state university, went to Texas State University, and graduated in '99 with honors. And I think it wasn't until probably my second or third semester in college that I realized how that I had the intellectual ability to compete. Right? I was third quarter of my high school class. I was 970 on my SAT.
Yeah.
And I love my mom, but this isn't an indictment on my mom, because my mom is one of the hardest working ladies I know. And her morals, I mean, everything about her, the fabric of who I am is because of her, but you have limiting beliefs. So I remember my senior year, I had graduated high school, my mom came to town to visit, and she asked me what I was going to do. Like, this is the first time this question was posed to me.
Yeah, senior of high school.
It was done, graduated, graduation night, so what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try college, Mom, was my answer. And her loving advice was the nuclear plant, the local power plant had good benefits that maybe I should consider working at the power plant.